Well, it's the 21st of April, 11 o'clock. This is my load. I was going to Broken Arrow, and they diverted me to Oklahoma City. After this, I go to Pflugerville, Texas. It's 11:31. Parked next to a dumpster, but they're almost done unloading me. Sorry. Let's see. I'm going to pick up gypsum board. I have to travel 153 miles to get to my next pickup, and then 369 miles to deliver. That's what the pay is, anyway. So it's roughly 510 miles. I won't make it there today, but I'm going to, I guess, Horton Here's a Who. That's where I'm going, because it's called Pflugerville. I mean, only Dr. Seuss would name a town like that. But I have been to Pflugerville, Texas before. And sorry about the finger. I try not to give people the finger. Let's see. American Gypsum. Going to Pflugerville, gypsum board. They don't really have a... This is just a pre-plan. Once I get my after I give my empty call, then they send me the actual plan. It's pretty much the same thing. It just has addresses attached and names of the companies. So I'll be able to plan it out then. I can't really do much right now until I've given my empty call, and I need paperwork for that. And it's about, I don't know, 76 degrees, but if you can see the trees, let's see here. I can hold it still. It's a little bit windy outside. I was folding up lumber tarps in that. Surprisingly, I didn't get frustrated. I knew it was coming. You can see it was pretty much that whole way the whole time, but I just did it patiently and worked with what I could and got them rolled up. See what happens when you start touching stuff you shouldn't be touching. And so everything's put away. Now I'm just waiting for these guys to finish unloading the hardwoods. And you could see by the picture initially how these bundles looked and how my challenges of strapping that down. But we got here safe and sound. Products in good shape. And now I just have to wait. That's the name of the game, waiting. So if you're good at waiting, so we'll wait to see where I end up next. I'm going to Duke, Oklahoma. Going to meet the Duke. Dun dun dun. Here's an update. other than my windshield being covered in bugs. And in fact, there's flies landing on my windshield eating the remnants of the bugs. It's kind of ingenious of them, saving time. Why hunt down and kill stuff on your own when you can just suck it up off of somebody else's windshield? So it's 5:53. I showed up and picked up my drywall here in Duke, Oklahoma. It was a preloaded trailer. It already had tarps on it, so I just had to swap some equipment and strap it down. So I did the swap. According to instructions, you're not supposed to drop trailers that have issues. Maybe you can tell where this is going. Because I dropped my trailer, swapped everything, connected. I thought, okay, look, before I threw straps and stuff, I thought, well, let me connect my air lines and electrical, and I turn on the lights, and that's what I always check first, is to make sure all the electrical's working. And looked at the condition of the trailer, it looks fine. So went ahead and strapped. Anyway, I applied air to the trailer, and but that was after I'd already secured everything down and put on my edge protectors and the whole walking back and forth for that piece of equipment to help me do that. Anyway, I was proceeding over to pick up my paperwork, and I noticed that my air gauge, it was going up. It was above 100, so that's, once it gets to 100, that's when I apply the brakes to apply, well, I guess not apply, to release the brakes, to supply air to the trailer and to the tractor. And I'll go out and show you here in a second. It's kind of noisy. Anyway, long story, I'm trying to make this as short as possible, but stuff keeps entering my mind. I got over, I had to drive to the other side of the building and pick up my paperwork. And so I did. And then I got back into my truck, and because by then, it's running, it should have been at like 150 already. So anyway, I looked at my gauges because I had applied my brakes when I got out, and I'm like, what in the heck's going on? So it was barely above 100, so I knew there could be an issue. So I began my investigation and just applied my trailer brakes, because that's the only thing that's changed with my vehicle since I've been here, because before that the air was fine. So I applied just the trailer and watched, and it was the gauge was moving up, but ever so slowly. And when it got to about 100 and I don't know, 3, 4, 5, it was really struggling to gain air, and that's just a normal idle. So with the tractor brake applied and the trailer brake released, I went back and started to investigate for air leaks. And lo and behold, I get to the back of the trailer, right above the right rear airbag. There is a pinhole leak to the extent where my PSI can't get much above 100, and my ABS light comes on. So anyway, breakdown mode. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's always possible that whoever dropped off this truck or this trailer, this issue developed coincidentally while it was here. Maybe. Or whatever gentleman had this trailer before, their air compressor was able to compensate for the current air loss in the trailer. Either way, that trailer is what I've got hooked up to my truck, and I'm waiting for it to be repaired. And the gentleman is here. You can see my load of drywall preloaded, and I strapped everything down, put edge protectors on, and the other funny thing was my Omnitrax. I put in my breakdown message, and all my other information I got to put in there, and And then I said, okay, now it's time to wait. So I turn on, I've got the air conditioning running in the truck because it's kind of warm here and it keeps me cool. So I checked my outbox. And these like top 5 messages, which are the things I have to do when heading out from a load, were just sitting there, like waiting to be sent. And I sat there and watched it. And like after 10 minutes, after 5 minutes, I'm like, well, this is a problem because I'm trying to report a breakdown. And the message isn't going through. So what do I do? So anyway, I called this place we call FleetNet, which manages our breakdowns. Typically, they get the mechanical breakdown message and then they call us back with an ETA on whoever's going to come out and fix it. So they wanted me to send in a breakdown, and I explained I'm trying to send a breakdown message, but I don't know if there's a problem with my Omnitrax now because the message at that time now had been over 10 minutes. And I'm like, it's just sitting there waiting to go out. So I don't know if there's an issue with my Omnitrax or what. Oh. But when it goes downhill, it goes down quick. So anyway, they transferred me to the person who handles the Maverick calls, and he took my information right over the phone. And he said, we'll call you back when we have an ETA. And he called me right back within 5 minutes. He says, yeah, within the hour, somebody will be there. I've got now an hour and 46 minutes on my clock. And at that point, I said, okay. And I had they have parking here. I had resolved I had a little over 2 hours, but I had resolved at that point that I was going to stay the night here. Not an issue. I get breakdown pay. You may want to utilize this method that I'm about to tell you to get instant results. Turn on your computer, put in a movie and press play, and that's when they'll knock on your door. That's when stuff happens. Every time I turn on my computer and start a movie, that's when things change. If I'm sitting and waiting for whatever reason, I could be waiting 5 minutes, I could be waiting an hour, but as soon as I turn on that computer and put in a movie, it's ready. Okay, we're ready now. So I put in my movie and there was a knock on the door. The repair guy was already here working on another trailer, and so now he's working on mine. I showed him the leak because I had found it and exactly where it was, and he says, well, I can cap. He said he could cap it off to where I can drive to a facility to get it repaired, or he can replace it. Well, that's not really my decision, I don't think, because I'm not mechanically inclined enough to say, oh yeah, do that because I know I can, whatever. I was like, well, let me make a phone call. And FleetNet and the repairman spoke with each other, and they determined that they're actually going to replace the part, so which is fine. So I'm assuming he's taking off the old airbag right now, and he will try to find the replacement part, because I guess it's, from what he said, an uncommon one. So he will come back and I guess at some point fix it, maybe tonight. And then once it's fixed, I'll be on the road. I've got 6 hours and 47 minutes to get to my location in Pflugerville, Texas, which I've been there before. I looked it up on Google Maps, and I'm like, hey, I've been there. And most likely, here's my first guesstimate on what my next load is going to be. I'm thinking it's going to be granite slabs on the west side of Austin, picking up there. And if that's the case, I'll know how to get there later.